Manchester United we're talking about, right? We've seen a couple of moves being made, players coming in, players allegedly going out as well. We'll speak about those. But Brian Mbeumo, now I think this is almost a transfer that you have almost inadvertently manifested, right? We've heard the Fleck Mbeumo shouts in the past, but it looks like he's after a serious bit of cash. 250 large we're talking about a week. Can you accept or deny the rumours? And we are reacting to the fact that United have now officially lodged a 45 plus £10 million add-on bid, fresh after bringing in Mbeumo Cunha as well. First of all, where have you got your money from?
Well, listen.
What, you're in debt?
Hated, adored, never ignored.
Right, okay, so it's going down that road.
Here we go.
No, listen.
Here we go.
We always, listen, when you're massive, right, you go through some bad times, but you still find it in it. You still find some money. But you're right. Like, regardless of Man United, Jim Ratcliffe's just egging on the thing, innit? When he's saying, like, 2025, going to run out of money if we don't, he's just probably going a bit extra. He's just trying to streamline the business, which the way he's done it, I don't agree with it, but they've got to save money in the long run. But Man United weren't going to run out of money. So they always had these two sort of players where they were able to spend this type of money, basically just north of 100 odd million before they sell anyone. So that'll be and we were trying to get the lap as well. So if he would have said yes, that would have been 3 man because he was a light 30, innit? So yeah, the money is there for that. And then we've got to get very creative with sales. The Mbeumo deal, I do hope it happens. I think he's a very good player. Very good player, man. And
very good.
I think it's what we need to do. Like, we need to be realistic with where we are, which is way off it. Way, way, way off it. Man United need to work out how to be competitive again in the league. And I know I come on here all the time and I'll say, yeah, we're massive with this. I'll do the trolling. But when you break it down, the fall from grace is so bad. We're easy to play against. We're not feared. Nobody respects us. And usually it's one of the easiest 3 points you'll get is playing this team. So what does it need? It needs people, in my opinion, actually. We need to get back to people who can navigate the league very well. They know the league. They have the physicality. They have the work rate. Most of all, they've got quality. They can score. They can create. And Brian Mbeumo, in terms of this season and since he's been in the Premier League with Brentford, is that. This is a player that if he would have went to Newcastle, the talk around him is, wow, oh my God, they're going to have Isak, Gordon, now Mbeumo, oh, what an upgrade, champions. Whoa,
Matty Renton's not happy, by the way.
No, he's not, because he keeps saying this. What does he say? There's only one United. Yeah.
Has he been watching Premier League years?
Yeah, exactly. No, mate. Just remember.
Does he think it's Fergie and Ruud van Nistelrooy?
And you know what? That's what's been really funny about this. This is what I will say, right? Football fans, we're very tribal, right? And none of us, we all want to clown each other's teams for respective reasons because it's funny. But the truth of the matter is there are a lot of fans out there that, like, Man United can basically, we should shut down the club and not buy anyone. If we find money to go and buy Gyökeres or Osimhen or something, everyone will go, yeah, they ain't learned their big names again. You're buying all these guys. What are you doing getting him for from the position you're in? You go, right, yeah, you lot are right. Can't we just get a little man from Lecce, a little 20-year-old man, 25 million, try and build up our team? You know what I mean? We're not there. Oh, I never heard of him. Oh, Lecce. Is that how far the mighty have fallen? They're getting man from Lecce relegation battle in Serie A, man. Is that Man United a joke? Then you go, you know what, man? Let's just get a couple Premier League guys from, like, the teams that are in around us. You know, above us. Not Wolves, but, you know, that's our level. Brentford, and just try and get them kind of man because they know the league. Oh, you think you're good because you're going to get man from Brentford or you man from Wolves? I got Arsenal man talking to me. I'm going, hold on a minute. When you was rebuilding your squad, I've seen Declan Rice arrive from West Ham. I've seen Trossard and Ben White
Declan Rice,
arrive from
100
Brighton.
million quid.
Okay.
It weren't exactly.
All right. No. I'm just saying, though.
Yeah.
Let's not. I've seen. Well, I'll tell you who wasn't 100 odd million quid. He's one of the best keepers in the league. Got the glove. He's David Raya come from Brentford for 25 million.
Of course. I don't know.
When you was on. No, I'm not saying you. When you was on the up, you got Aaron Ramsdale, who got relegated from Sheffield United. So let's not act like
valid point.
This thing of, like, buying players from within, whether you're at the top of the table, especially. Why are you so shocked that Man United did it? We're 15th.
To me,
so we should be getting them players.
Brian Mbeumo is an excellent signing for United. Like, he's like you said, right? You need a player that is ready now in the Premier League. You need, like, guys have scored 20 goals. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. right? He's quick, strong, and his finishing is good. You know, last year they didn't even miss Ivan Toney. You know, him and Wissa, they were
used
brilliant.
To play without him when he was out for 8 months.
You know, so to me, that signing makes perfect sense. The Cunha one is the one that I'm looking at and thinking, it is a good signing, but I just think to myself, what if the pressure sort of comes down and is Cunha? You know, we've seen him had a few little meltdowns and things like that. You know what I mean? Because United are in that rebuild. Like, I remember this with Arsenal, right? Where you just need to bring in them type of players to build it. Yeah, and to rebuild it back. And everybody needs to be on board with the sort of projects and stuff like that. So to me, the Mbeumo signing is an excellent signing.
How many red cards do you think Cunha's got in his career? His whole career?
His whole career?
Yeah.
I don't know. 3?
1.
1, is it?
1. So, like, again, what happens... Again,
but I don't know, he did have a couple of meltdowns.
Yeah,
he falls out with a manager and things like that.
But you know what, though? But also on the flip side of that, I'm going to be deadly honest with you guys.
But he's quality.
Shout out to all the glasses wearers, yeah? Shouldn't really be taking people's glasses.
Can't touch another man's glasses.
But guess what? At that time, we're playing against Ipswich. We're in a relegation dogfight, mate. Come step to me. I'll take your glass. What? I will take your glasses. I'm on that. I'm
just saying trenches, right?
I hope he paid for it.
Listen,
I need that. I'm not saying men in there.
I'm not saying that it's not. I wanted Cunha in January at Arsenal. He's quality.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just like, if it ain't happening, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. It's not that I'm worried. I don't care because he's United. But that would be the only thing that would worry me as a United fan. But if those two signings, well, Cunha's coming already, and Mbeumo, I think he'll come. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think he'll go to United, right? I think those are two excellent signings for United. Those are just the type of signings that they need. And you've got two players, they want to go there. And I think that's important for United right now, that it's players that want to go there. Like, they're not, rolling in for the money and stuff like that. I think United's problem is going to be, though, getting rid of some man.
On big
Jadon Sancho, right? He's on...
We have to get into
financial years,
how you amortize.
Yeah, we know 100%. That. But also on those books are the wages of Jadon Sancho,
right? Exactly.
Of Marcus Rashford,
but this is why that's fine.
Casemiro, those 3 wages alone.
So they have to. This is what I'm saying. So they have to, Man United have to get creative, and this is why the loans help, because again, you take those wages off your books for this year.
Some off.
Whilst you do that.
Not the whole thing.
No, not the whole thing. Some, half, whatever, maybe. In Antony's case, they paid like over 80% of his wages, Betis did, which was, I couldn't believe it, but it did.
A lot of teams get mocked for their pool, lack of pool, whatever. When you have a Newcastle, on the table that are ready to bring you in, Champions League football, they can guarantee you. I mean, let's ask Robbie, actually, because I think, obviously, as a United fan, you're going to say, that they do. But in terms of England and the rest of the world, Manchester United, when does that pool run out? I heard on the radio the other day, they were talking about, listen, they finished 15th, but the name Manchester United, how far along the line does that take you? And how do they still have this pool after having the worst season in Flex's lifetime?
If it comes down to, if you're a footballer and it comes down to Man United or Newcastle, sorry.
Even now in 2025?
Even now, you're going to Man United. Wow. And that's just pure facts. That's even now, it's another level, man. Like,
without Champions League football.
Because if
I'm just playing devil's advocate,
even without
Renton here.
Even without Champions League football, I'm sorry, right? Like, I've been around the world with football. Manchester United are you go to places, there's no Newcastle fans, none. In different, not obviously in this country, brilliantly supported team, Newcastle. I always say they got I put their fans right up there as probably, in the top 3 fans in this country. Newcastle, you see them, they got the longest distances to travel every single game. They always sell out their away end. They're brilliant. They're like, even when they was in the Championship, the ground was packed. But as a worldwide club, they can't compete with Man United. And Man United, you go anywhere around the world, there's United fans, there's United shirts. If you sign as a player for Man United, even if you're not in the Champions League, you're going to believe that you're going to be the player to get them back in the Champions League and get them back to glory. Even in their last few seasons when they've been poor, they've won trophies, right? It's just another level. Even if you look at it from the level of, say, things like, and players do look at this, social media. You sign for United or Arsenal or Liverpool or Chelsea, immediately, if you've got 100K followers on Instagram, immediately you're going up to nearly 1 million. That's the level of interest that comes to you. That means you're getting to get more branded. This is things that they take into account, players.
Image rights.
So you're going to get your image rights going to go up. You're going to get more brand deals. You're a more well-known player because you're playing for Manchester United or these other teams. So it's just facts. It's why Brian Mbeumo would rather go to United than Newcastle. It's not because...
But the money must have some kind of...
It's not just the money, though, because sometimes the
well,
money...
he's asking for 250. It would quadruple his wages.
Yeah, but he'd still get big money. Listen, even if the money was the same, I still think he'd choose United.
I don't think Newcastle would have been happy to pay him
I
250.
think, listen, I could be tribal and say, look, I will start by saying as a United fan, I 100% understand that the badge, it doesn't matter how poor we are, we're seeing clearly players make decisions. We've just seen it because they have offers on the table or other interest if they don't want to go Man United, you know, and they can play Champions League football quite comfortably. But they've decided, I only want to go there. So depends on the player, because Delap didn't want to come Man United. He said, nah, I listened to Forest, I listened to Chelsea, I listened to Man United, and I think it was Newcastle, but I'm going to go Chelsea. So it don't always work. I think this version of Man United, it's weird now, because in-house, I encourage us as United fans to be like, listen, man, I know our badge is massive and our crest means a lot, but we're really bad now. We have to be realistic of the aisles we're shopping in. It's very difficult to go and say, yeah, I'll go and get Victor Osimhen now. Let's enter the Gyökeres chat, which we actually might be in now. But it's harder to go and get the top players because of where we are. But at the same time, I think there's, as long as you keep it balanced, as long as you're not one of these fans that's like, Man United are 15th, who's going to want to go there? They're not going to be able to sign anyone.
That's one end of the
Then
spectrum.
you're deluded. Because that's saying you're not understanding that Man United, like Robbie said, Man United is a big club. And there's some players, depends on your career, innit? We've seen Trent make a thing for his career decision. You see other players leave big clubs for, like the player themselves go, always want to play for Man United, man. Nah, man, I don't care.
There's a lot of these players.
Like, I don't care. I say it to my
support
agent.
United.
You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. Of course, Peas is absolutely. Man United will offer probably more than Newcastle United. Who, let's not, like, we'll keep talking about all this money stuff. Mate, Newcastle are the richest team in the whole world.
Yeah.
So they just can't use the money. So let's not act like, oh, poor old Newcastle didn't want to pay the P's. That's fine if you didn't want to pay the P's. But at the same time, Man United, in their worst shape, can still attract players. But there is a cut-off point.